Cam Newton may be back, or at least that's what it looks like, as the Carolina Panthers are off to a 4-1 start and Newton has looked like the Cam of old in the last 2 games. The Panthers will look to ride that momentum into a short week as they welcome the Philadelphia Eagles to Charlotte to kick off Week 6 NFL action. The Panthers opened a 3-point favorite for Thursday night's game with extra juice, and the preferred side early in the week has been the host team, with the line now having extra juice or sitting at 3.5 points. Through 5 weeks of the season, the Eagles are also 4-1, but it seems like their 4-1 record is less celebrated. Philadelphia's win and cover over Arizona made it 3 straight-up wins in a row and 2 covers in a row. The Eagles are 3-2 against the spread overall, with their lone loss at Arrowhead Stadium against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Panthers have 1 loss against New Orleans in between 4 wins, but they've won each of the last 2 games as an underdog, and both teams are 3-2 to the over heading into Week 6. The Philadelphia Eagles started 3-0 last season, and then the wheels fell off, as Carson Wentz got burned out with the weekly rigors of the NFL and a deeper playbook. This season, the much-improved Wentz has been a stabilizing factor for the Eagles' attack. He has a 10-3 touchdown-interception ratio and has completed 62% of his throws. He has been under a fair amount of pressure with some offensive line injuries and an up-and-down ground game, but he's hung in there and has played like a seasoned veteran and not a second-year player. LeGarrette Blount has been a good bruiser between the tackles to complement scat backs like Wendell Smallwood and Darren Sproles, though Sproles saw his season end with a torn ACL broken arm combo on the same play. This Doug Peterson-led offense is still working to fire on all cylinders with some new faces like Alshon Jeffrey and Torrey Smith, but Wentz has a lot of weapons and he has spread the ball around nicely. The Eagles have 12.4 yards per reception and their 5.8 yards per play ranks in the top 10 in the NFL. Wentz needs to work on throwing to his open receivers though, as the Eagles only have 419 yards after the catch. Wentz has had to be on point because the defense has not been a whole lot of help. The Eagles defense has allowed 6 yards per play and they rank 30th in the NFL in that category. What is particularly upsetting about the defense's performance is that the offense has run the second most plays in the NFL. The Eagles have 12 sacks and 8 takeaways, but have simply given up too many quality gains. Philadelphia has only allowed 13 receptions of 20-plus yards and 3 rushes of 20-plus yards, but they have allowed a lot of plays in the 10 to 15-yard range and have allowed 704 yards after the catch. That will be an important thing for the defense to lock down against a mobile Cam Newton with 2 good receiving weapons out of the backfield. Cam Newton is gradually looking like the Cam Newton that brought the Panthers to the Super Bowl. He has completed 68.3% of his passes with an 8-5 touchdown interception ratio for the season, and he has gone 48 of 62 for 671 yards, 6 touchdowns, and a pick over the last 2 weeks. He looks a lot healthier right now and has even used his legs to extend plays and give his receivers some time to get open. Unfortunately, the running game is still a bit of a hindrance. The Panthers have 3 yards per carry, as both Jonathan Stewart and Christian McCaffrey have had issues. With Greg Olsen out, Newton has found a rapport with tight end Ed Dixon, but his favorite targets remain Kelvin Benjamin, Devin Funchess, and Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey leads the team with 27 catches, so the Panthers have tried to get him into space to create, because the first 3 and the last 2 weeks look dramatically different, and it's hard to gauge this offense. What really helps is that last year's defensive performance looks more like the exception than the norm. The Panthers have 17 sacks through 5 games and have played fairly well despite only managing 3 takeaways thus far. Carolina has only allowed 13 plays of 20 or more yards, so they are forcing the defense to sustain drives to move the ball and score points. Opposing pass attacks only have 9.1 yards per reception, so the secondary has made some good adjustments and the pass rush has been able to get there, mostly using 4-man pressure. That makes it really easy to defend when the back 7 can focus on covering receivers as opposed to rushing the quarterback. The Carolina Panthers are the preferred side here on Thursday night due to their stout defense. The Eagles have some offensive line concerns, and the Panthers are getting a lot of pressure off the edges. The Eagles' defense was supposed to be better than this, but it has had some serious problems containing opposing receivers. It seems like a tall target, such as Kelvin Benjamin and a versatile receiving back like Christian McCaffrey, can win the X's and O's there. The Panthers are a decent look on a short week at home to begin with, and this matchup seems to favor them overall. Our pick and prediction is for the Carolina Panthers at -3.5 points.